And now, the general weather around Alaska. Welcome to Alaska Weather. I'm meteorologist Peter Chan, coming to you from the National Weather Service on this Thursday, December 7th, 2023. And if you'd like additional weather information on top of what I give you in this YouTube video, you can go to weather.gov. That is the National Weather Service's online presence. It brings you to a map of the continental U.S. You point and click anywhere on this map, or say Hawaii, Alaska to the lower left. You'll be able to pull up a forecast, a very localized forecast for anywhere in the country, including any relevant watches, warnings, or advisories. Looking at the map across the continental U.S. this Thursday afternoon, most of the active weather is west of the Mississippi. We have some wind advisories, portions of the plains, winter weather advisories in purple, winter storm warning around Grand Teton, Yellowstone National Parks, and then further west we have a slew of winter weather advisories that are in effect from Washington State, Cascades down in through the Sierra Nevada, and also even a frost or freeze watch there for areas of the San Joaquin Valley in California. But here in Alaska, we have some winter storm warnings along the west coast tonight into Friday morning, as well as some of them extending into Saturday because of an area of low pressure and push of much colder air across the west side of the state in Bering Sea. Secondary low is going to develop along the Kenai coast and work its way up towards Prince William Sound and weaken on Friday. This system is going to produce a round of moderate snowfall, including the Anchorage Bowl area tonight into Friday. And then we'll have a storm force low lifting out of the North Pacific and impact the Panhandle late Friday night into Saturday with some high winds, along with some moderate to heavy precipitation, mainly in the form of rain across the southern Panhandle. And this overall active weather pattern will continue across the southern mainland, Gulf Coast, and Panhandle as we go into next week and in through mid-month. Looking at a few of the FAA webcams this Thursday early afternoon, Gamble on the north side of St. Lawrence Island under a winter storm warning, mostly cloudy there this afternoon. Temperature information was missing, but north winds are going to be increasing tonight and into Friday night, especially early Saturday. They're going to see blowing, drifting snow develop on the backside of the low that's currently just west of Nome. And then here is Anchorage Point, getting snow and fog there along the southwestern Kenai Peninsula. Temperature there at 26 degrees early this afternoon. That area's snow will be expanding northeastward, working its way up along the western Kenai, through Kenai and Soldotna, and then up into the Anchorage Bowl, and up moisture also coming up through Turnagain Arm. And then along the west coast, we have the potential for an ice shove to occur, an EVU. Maybe later tonight, strong west to northwest winds combined with a high tide could push ice up onto the shoreline, up onto the beach tidal zone, and cause damage to any property that's been left there, especially around and just north of Scammon Bay. So this area here south of Nunam-Equa down towards Scammon Bay is most vulnerable to those west-northwest winds. So that's something else to keep in mind. Here are the current watch warnings advisories. Let's start out with this wind advisory, Donnelly area there. That's going to wind down soon. There's a wind advisory for some gusty winds there in the other side of the Alaska Range. But the winter storm warnings here along the west coast, northern, western Seward coastline through the Bering Strait, including St. Lawrence. That's in effect until Saturday morning. There's going to be strong northerly winds on the backside of this low. It's going to create a continuation of snow squalls, blowing and drifting snow, near blizzard conditions at times. This area here, the lower Yukon Delta, is concerned about considerable blowing and drifting snow. And these west-northwest winds before they shift could cause some ice to pile up along the areas here of the lower Yukon Delta. Then the secondary low is forming right now around this area here, the Kenai Peninsula. It's going to slowly lift northeastward into Prince William Sound and weaken later Friday. But as it does so, it's going to push accumulating snow back up along the western portions of the Kenai Peninsula around, say, Portage and Whittier. 8 to 12 inches of snow could fall later tonight through the day Friday. 6 to 8 inches of snow, the east hills of Anchorage. 2 to 4 inches, generally the Anchorage Bowl. 4 to 6 inches of snow anticipated around Eagle River. So this will be a moderate but notable snowfall. It'll impact travel for Friday. And then finally, A high wind watch has been issued for the southern panhandle, Wrangell, Ketchikan, Klawak, and Heidelberg, Craig areas. This low is going to come up out of the North Pacific and impact the entire panhandle with stronger gale and storm force winds, as well as some moderate to heavy precipitation as we go through late Friday night, especially during the day on Saturday. And I also wanted to just mention one more time because next week, it's going to be an interesting time for viewing the sky if you are at a location that has clear conditions. New moon occurs Tuesday, December 12th, so the sky will be good and dark. And the Geminid meteor shower peaks next week. That is the best meteor shower of the year. It's a cold one to watch, but it can be fantastic. I've seen just amazing displays of the Geminid meteor shower, 200-300 meteors an hour. Wednesday night into Thursday morning, December 13th into the 14th. The best viewing here in Alaska would be the morning hours of Thursday, December 14th, say like 3 a.m. till 8, 9 a.m. Easily see over 100 meteors per hour if you have good and clear skies, and could potentially even have aurora going on then too. So looking at what we have on the weather maps, we have a weak area low pressure out here over the northern Gulf. That's washing out. Here's the secondary low forming along a front. So the front is attached to this low that's just west of Nome. Front has pushed inland, and then the cold front is now pushing into the western Gulf, and we have this secondary low forming, and that's the one that's going to produce the accumulating snows along areas of the Kenai Peninsula on up into the Anchorage Bowl, Turnagain Arm, and maybe in as far north as the lower Mat-Su Valley, but that'll be the system tonight into Friday. This one here is packing wind, and along the backside we have snow squalls also coming on inland along coastal areas, creating near blizzard conditions at times. That'll continue overnight into early Friday morning here along the lower Yukon Delta, and then persist along areas of the Bering Strait into St. Lawrence Island, then all the way into early Saturday morning. You can see kind of this popcorn-like appearance to the clouds here over the lower Bering. These are snow showers and snow squalls. There's the leading edge of the cold front. And you can see right now, these are the two main weather lows that we are focusing on. But as we go through time, that low later tonight into Friday morning is pushing up toward Prince William Sound, west side of Prince William Sound. It'll begin to weaken. The other low is also associated not just at the surface, but there is a strong mid and upper level low. It's just gradually sinking toward the south and southeast along the western and southwest coastline. And by the time we get into Friday, there's that feature there, lower Yukon Delta, the surface low. Winds really picking up eastern Russia here, gale to even some storm force gusts, and that's going to be clipping especially St. Lawrence Island Friday into Friday night. The cold front kind of washing out in through the Gulf. Here comes that next low. That'll be a storm force low as it lifts up into the panhandle on Saturday with some high winds late Friday night into Saturday over the southern panhandle. Southeast winds could gust as high as 50, 60 miles an hour, along with some periods of moderate to heavy rain. Further north, it could be accumulating snow, so stay tuned if you're here in the central northern panhandle for further advisories or potential warnings. There'll be another low come up out of the North Pacific later this weekend and kind of ride up on the Pacific side of the Alaska Peninsula into the western Gulf, so that could be the next weather maker here, especially late Sunday into early next week. Quick check now of temperatures. We expect lows generally at or above freezing here, generally above freezing along the outer southern and western coast there of the Panhandle. Interior temperatures plenty cold. Everything's going to stay all snow across the Kenai Peninsula on up in through the Anchorage Bowl and around Prince William Sound. Warmest air will be with highs lower 40s here across, say, Sitka down through Craig and Ketchikan. Areas back toward the Anchorage Bowl only around 20 for highs on Friday afternoon. So again, plenty of cold air to keep everything snow. Travel will be definitely impacted by the snowfall tonight into Friday. Seward Highway areas going out toward heading east along the Glen Highway, but especially there, Anchorage area and down through that section of Turnagain Arm. And then lows Saturday morning, notice it falls off below zero, Copper River Basin, 15 below there at Gulkana, 4 below Talkeetna, 12 below at McGrath. Temperatures, though, above freezing over the southern half of the Panhandle Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon highs could reach mid-40s, 44, 45 there along areas like Sitka down through Craig, holding at 32 up toward Haines, Skagway. and 0 again Saturday afternoon for a high there in through the Copper River Basin. But temperatures only in the teens, mid-teens or so, Anchorage Bowl. Coldest readings, there could be some readings down near 20 below, Yukon Flats Friday morning. Otherwise, generally single digits above and below 0. Mildest temperatures will be along the western Seward Peninsula with lows in the mid-teens, 20 still maybe there at Savunga. And then Friday afternoon, temperatures may not get above 0 in areas of the Yukon Flats. Possibly portions of the Tanana Valley and up there toward the passes, Anatuvik Pass, and then even colder temperatures Saturday morning. Could be down around 25 below or so in some of the normally cold spots. So definitely colder temperatures being drawn down as a result of the low that continues to sink further southward along the southwestern coast. And daytime highs more in the way of some sub-zero high temperatures, central, eastern, mainland. While readings stay in the lower middle teens along areas of the west coast and still holding there in the 20s out there on St. Lawrence Island. Interior Friday morning of the southwest, single digits, generally above 0. Readings start to have cooled off below freezing. Daytime highs may only struggle to get back up near or just above freezing once you get down toward Falls Pass, Cold Bay, down through the eastern central Aleutians. Saturday morning lows, some single digits below 0 here as you go up the Kuskokwim River. Areas along the Alaska Peninsula and Aleutians below freezing in the 20s, and then high temperatures. Saturday afternoon, we'll have to struggle to get back up around or just above freezing across the eastern Aleutians. And here's the temperature outlook mid-month, December 13th through the 17th, centered on the 15th mid-month. And we will find with this kind of pattern, if temperatures are going to average below normal over the southwest, Bristol Bay, say down through the eastern Aleutians and the Alaska Peninsula, that implies a colder, drier northerly flow along the west side of the state. But then on the east side, we have above normal temperatures in the Panhandle, so that would imply some sort of southerly flow. And if you follow my hand, that's a circulation of low pressure, which means this active weather pattern stays situated over the Gulf, and from time to time we'll have some stronger lows and moisture coming up into areas of the Gulf Coast, up into the southern southeast mainland, extending upwards along the eastern mainland and also back through the Panhandle. So this area here could certainly see some bouts of additional notable snowfall or wintry weather and wintry mix. Looks like best chance of below normal precipitation mid-month will be along areas of the west coast, the Seward Peninsula down here into the lower Yukon Delta.